This is Gabby and Jesus's apartment in Spain. As this is their first apartment, bought a few months ago, they felt it was finally time to invest in making it feel like home, starting with their main living space. After moving into the new place, they were having trouble visualizing the possibilities and translating their personality into it. Defining the layout, sourcing furniture, and styling the space can be really overwhelming. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through my process of transforming their dining and living spaces into something that's not only functional, but also feels comfortable and visually pleasing to them. Now, this project holds a very special place in my heart. Gabby is one of my best friends. We basically grew up together in Brazil, and now she lives in Spain and I'm in Canada. But we still manage to be part of each other's lives. So of course, the first step was to understand the overall space and also their expectations for it. Okay, let's go. Excuse me. The room is almost a square, 16 feet and 10 inches long, and 15 feet and 10 inches wide. There are two windows here on this wall and a large sliding door that divides this space from the rest of the apartment. Although I don't have the complete floor plan, the kitchen is here right behind this wall, so they use this room both as a living and dining area. Most of the furniture they have in here already came with the apartment, so they're open to letting it all go. My first step when starting a new project is visualizing the room in 3D. So that's what I did using Coohom. I've been using Coohom since the beginning of my design journey. I actually mentioned it in my very first design video, and it has been an absolute game changer. So I'm very happy to have Coohom as the sponsor of today's video. Coohom is an incredibly intuitive online interior design platform packed with features that make creating and visualizing your dream spaces a breeze. First, their drag-and-drop design tool is super user-friendly. Whether you are working on a cozy living room, a modern kitchen, or even an entire home, you can easily experiment with different layouts and furniture placements. Their extensive library includes thousands of furniture and decor pieces from real brands. You can mix and match items to fit your style and see exactly how they will look in your space. This is super helpful to purchase items with more confidence. But what really sets Coohom apart is its new real-time rendering feature. This allows you to see photorealistic visuals instantly as you work. No more waiting for hours to generate high-quality images. It's all happening right in front of you. You will see it in action later in this video, by the way. You can tweak things like lighting, materials, and textures and immediately see how they impact your design. It's a total game changer. Coohom also features an AI rendering tool that can take your design sketches or rough ideas and turn them into professional-grade 3D models in minutes. This is perfect if you're short on time, need a quick way to visualize your concepts, or even as a starting point to get your creativity going. So whether you're a professional designer or someone who loves to create beautiful spaces for your own home, Coohom has everything you need to bring your ideas to life. I've added a link in the description so you can explore it for yourself. And if you're interested in their pro features, you're in luck. By using my coupon code Tales of Maria at checkout, you can enjoy their annual Pro subscription with a massive discount. So start creating with Coohom today. Okay, so before we begin with the design, let's first understand how they're planning to use this space. Gabby said that they mostly use this room to watch TV, movies and stuff, and that they usually eat while watching TV. They like to host small gatherings with friends to play video games and board games, so both the table and the living room should support that. They would also like to have a spot for their record player and they really like to showcase a bit of their personality through decorative objects. So with that in mind, it's time to think about the layout. So before defining the details, I like to start by deciding where each piece will go in the room. And for this room, I offered 4 layout options for them to choose from. Here's the first one. Okay, so since this room is slightly longer than it is wide, it's quite clear to me that the living and dining areas should be laid out in this direction, as opposed to this one. And because a dining table and chairs usually take up less space than a full living room, I'm gonna place them right here, like this. Oh, and by the way, across all options, I'm choosing an oval dining table that sits 6 people. I love oval tables. They are so versatile and usually occupy less space than a rectangular or round one, while still allowing for better circulation around the room. And since we have to fit a lot of elements here in this room, I'm choosing to keep the table as close to the wall as possible. So instead of 6 chairs, I'm gonna use a bench here for this side and 4 chairs. Oh, and there will have to be a small gap between the bench and the wall for the sliding door. Okay, so with the dining area sorted out, let's move on to the living space. I'm defining it using a large area rug, and the main piece here will be a comfortable couch facing the TV. And to provide some extra seating for hosting friends, let's add a pair of chairs here. And a narrow coffee table completes this space. Right next to it, here below the windows, I'm gonna choose this beautiful low shelf where they can place the record player and also some of their records. And since they told me that they like to display stuff, I'm adding another shelf here against this wall. And this one is taller and also narrower, not to compromise the path into the room. Okay, and this completes the first layout option. Let's move on to the second one. As it turns out, Jesus is not a big fan of having his back facing the door, so although they would consider all the layouts, I decided to offer them an alternative to the first one by mirroring it, basically. So instead of the dining table, this wall would accommodate the TV and the media console. So the couch will be placed right in front of it, and the 2 chairs will go here beneath this window, so we don't block the way into the living space when entering the room. And for this to work, they will have to remove the sliding door that covers most of this wall, or the media console could be placed right in front of the door, leaving a small gap in between them. And the TV could be placed on top of the media console instead of mounted on the wall. And of course, the dining table would go here with the same bench plus the chairs layout. With this layout, I could only fit 1 bookshelf, so it would be larger and quite wide to fit the record player. And this completes layout number 2. On to the third one. For this option, the dining table comes back to the first position here. So the living room will also occupy the back of the room. But as I mentioned before, they'd rather not have their back of the sofa facing the door. So we'll try another layout here. Instead of a large couch, I'm gonna use 2 smaller ones facing each other like this, with the narrow coffee table here in the center. I really like this layout. It checks a lot of the boxes. They would each have 1 couch to lounge on every day, and when friends come over, this is a great layout for conversation. Besides, the path into the living room is clearer, and the integration with the dining area is also better. Anyways, to complete this option, I suggested a large set of shelves, basically from floor to ceiling, here behind this sofa. And that's it. Now for the final option. After seeing the previous 3 layout options, They wanted to visualize how the room would look with 6 chairs instead of the bench, and also to have a more comfortable couch, something like a sectional or an L-shaped couch, because this is their priority. So considering this feedback, here's what I came up with. We can actually fit a dining table and 6 chairs here, and the living room would be similar to the layout they have today. So one comfortable sectional sofa here facing the TV, a coffee table and a side table, and that's pretty much it. Now, notice that it would be very awkward if the sofa was further away from the TV. That's why I chose to leave this gap behind it. And as it turns out, this is a great spot to place the low shelf of the first example for the record player and other items. So I embraced this little gap and made it a cozy nook for listening to music or even meditating. I also kept the tall bookshelf from the first example here near the entrance to give this wall more height and also more space for them to showcase their personality. And although this layout isn't necessarily the most efficient in terms of space utilization, they fell in love with it. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. This is the one that works best for them, so we're moving forward with it. If you had to choose, which one would it be? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Here are some of the reference pictures they sent me regarding style. I'm seeing quite a lot of modern elements, but mostly cozy materials and warm colors. A lot of wood and neutral tones, and also very neat decor and curated pieces. Now, since I'm using Coohom, I already used actual models to define the layout. So now, besides already knowing the general dimensions of each piece in this room, I also have a pretty clear idea of how the final result would look like. I just have to refine it. So I'll keep all the walls this nice tone of beige that they already painted recently, as it connects very well with the inspiration pictures they sent me. So let's start with the larger pieces. I chose an L-shaped couch instead of the sectional because I think it's a bit more comfortable to sit more people, you know, when friends come over. This one is quite compact and it fits perfectly here. My reference was this one here from Article, which has the exact same dimensions. And I'm gonna keep it simple with a warm tone of beige. I'll also keep this neutral rug, which has a bit of pattern to break the monotony. The narrow wooden coffee table will also remain the same, and I'm using a stool here as a side table, but it can also be used for extra seating. I choose black for the media console to bring more contrast and also more variety, since we already have a lot of wooden pieces here in this room. The shelf here behind the sofa will also remain the same. I actually love this model and it speaks super well with the reference pictures. Moving on to the dining area, wooden oval tables are timeless and they add so much character. But in contrast, instead of wooden chairs, I'm choosing these with a black metal frame, and the chairs will be the elements that bring a bit more color to this room as well. So I chose this orange leather and it connects well with the warm tones that I use throughout. So as for the tall bookshelf here at the entrance, I chose one that speaks well with the reference pictures and that has a mix of metal and wood. It's also important to note that the sides of this shelf should be open like this, instead of a solid board. It's pretty much the first thing that you see when you enter the room, and like this you can see right through it. Now for the finishing touches. I added several different lamps here for some extra coziness, and I also installed a stylish pendant light above the dining table to bring some height. And speaking of height, we also have these floor-to-ceiling curtains that also adds texture, and a couple more pictures on the walls. So after adjusting some settings using Coohom's real-time rendering tool, it was finally time to render. What a difference it makes to carefully think about not only the function of a space, but also how it should feel. They felt this translated exactly what they were wishing for their new home and can now execute the plan with confidence that it will look good and that they will love to spend time in here. And that's the power of design. I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to see more home decor related content. And here's another makeover video that you can watch next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.